now that we're 3 cups in, we're 3 cups into the AWC, I kind of wanted to do like a post AWC week 3 discussion. We do have 1 more cup in this patch, and then after that we're going to be taking a short break, and then the finals. And the finals are actually after 10.1.5, which is a big patch with lots of reworks. And I kind of wanted to take a look at what the meta is right now for tournaments, and also what I think is going to change, because I do think there's going to be some specs that have like a big rise in power. So I'm going to go ahead and place, we're going to do a quick little tier list, and this is like AWC, okay? So we're going to do a quick little breakdown. I'm just going to quickly place the things that I think are the best. Balance Druid, S tier. I'm just going to throw it out, S tier specializations. What do we think? Balance is S tier. Do you guys still think that Subtlety Rogue is S tier? I do. Demonology Warlock, S tier. This is mostly like from a tournament point of view. I think Preservation Evoker is S tier. Shadow Priest is S tier. That's a good one. What else do we got? Is Resto Shaman S tier? Arcane. Arcane. Let me just dump in like the C tier specs right now. And keep in mind, this is AWC specific. So this is like the top players, the best comps, tournament level. Will anything change? So this is just what we're seeing. Frost Mage is D tier. Fire Mage is maybe like C tier. Arcane is C tier. Arms Warriors, I think Arms Warriors A tier. We'll put that there. Rep Paladins we don't really see. I'll put them at C tier as well. Fire is A minus. You guys, Fire is awful. Yes, nobody is playing Fire Mage and winning. Nobody's playing Fire Mage. All the Fire Mages re-rolled. Windwalker, C tier. Enhancement Shaman actually did surprisingly well. I feel like Enhancement Shaman's like at least like B tier. It's like, how well does your spec work with some of the other comps? Survival is decent. BM Hunter, I think, is decent. Feral, B tier. Ellie Shaman is definitely A tier. I think Ellie Shaman debatably is S tier. Would you say Ellie's S tier? Okay, we'll put the mage specs at B tier. You convinced me. This tier list is from a mage's perspective. This tier list is not from a mage's perspective. This tier list is from the perspective of what we have seen in the tournament so far. Destro Warlock, I'd say, is A tier. Devastation Evoker is down there in that little C tier range. Garbanzo. Affliction Warlock, I'd say B tier. Unholy Decay, currently, we'll put Unholy Decay at D tier. Frost Decay, D tier, just trash. Fury Warrior, I'd actually put it like A. Outlaw, probably down there at C tier. Assassination. You guys think Assassination is fair at A tier? I think it is. I would put it high B or low A. Thoughts? Okay, we'll put it B tier. Resto Shaman. I think I'm going to put Resto Shaman in S tier. Am I? Are we putting it S tier? Put it there. We have Resto Druid. I think in the grand scheme of tournaments, a Resto Druid is probably A tier. Mistweaver Monk is probably A tier. Holy Priest is probably A tier. This Priest, hasn't really been doing that well. D tier. Paladins, just trash. Do you guys disagree with the healers at all? It seems like Preservation Evoker and Resto Shaman are the best, with Preservation Evoker being the most dominant. Mistweaver is A tier. I don't agree. I guess, I don't know. I feel like we've seen Mistweavers do okay. We could put it at B. I think you're way too generous with A tier. Mistweaver is C, Druid is A, Holy Paladin is B, Resto Shaman is A. You think Resto Shaman is the same as Resto Druid? I think Resto Shaman is better than Resto Druid. Marks Hunter, what would you put Marks Hunter at? B tier. D tier Marks Hunter, and then all the tank specs are just D tier, D tier, D tier, D tier, D tier, D tier. This is the AWC tournament meta right now for Cup number 1, 2, and 3 in Europe and North America. If you guys disagree, I would like to know. I can be convinced to change my mind, but I'm feeling pretty confident with this right now. You would put Arcane lower personally? So would I. We are seeing Arcane played at least. You know, we're seeing Arcane played at least, and there is times that it can win as like a counter pick. A tier is overrated. Overrated? What do you mean? Arms Warriors, BM Hunters, like these are specs we're actually seeing win against the S tier specs. Like, let me explain my thought process. We're seeing comps like Boomkin Arms Warrior. We're seeing comps like Shadow Priest Arms Warrior do well. We're seeing comps like BM Hunter Boomkin do well. BM Hunter Shadow Priest do well. We're seeing comps like Ellie Shaman Demo do well. Ellie Shaman Boomkin do well. We're seeing Destro play with a Shadow Priest. We're seeing Destro play with Boomkins. Like, I don't think it's that bad. I think the A tier is spot on, to be honest. I feel very confident with my A tier. Has a Feral won a single game? It's C tier. Has a Feral won a single game? It's had some close matchups. I feel like it has won some games, yeah. Move Druid to S? Definitely not. I don't think Druid's S tier. I think Druid has very specific compositions it could play. I don't think it's nearly as flexible as Preservation. The biggest problem with Resto Druid is it doesn't pair well with a Boomkin. Isn't that funny? Yeah, we definitely saw Feral win. That's true. We saw Ducamified play it. Or we saw Lost and Lehu play it, right? I think you could maybe put Demon Hunter at A tier. Maybe. I think that's the only thing that I might change is like maybe Demon Hunter's A minus. Anyways, so this is like the important moment. Okay? Is anything going to change? Who are the biggest winners and who are the biggest losers? Who's going to get stronger? So I'm going to do something. I'm going to take this. I'm going to put it in paint really quick, okay? Because this is what people are most interested in. What is going to change? Like, this is the tournament meta right now. This is the top of the top. These are the specs that the pros are playing and winning tournaments with. Is anything going to change? Is anything going to change? I think most importantly, we're going to be seeing Holy Paladin. So Holy Paladin is going to get better. I think the Holy Paladin rework, from what I've heard, is going to make it significantly better. I don't feel exactly confident like placing it. I don't know like where it's going to go, but I do think that its stonks are going up. So Holy Paladin stonks are going up. I think Unholy DK stonks are also going up. Unholy DK stonks are also going up. Who else is going up? What else is getting reworked to the point where it's actually going to get some like serious changes? I don't know why. Why are you guys saying that? I actually do think Affliction Warlock. I think Affliction Warlock is going to get better. Why? I'm curious why you guys think that Mage is going to be like. Why do you guys think that Mage is getting better? So I think Affliction Warlock is definitely going to go up a tier. I think Holy Paladin is going to go up a tier. Affliction is going to go up a tier. Frostmage Mastery rework looks crazy. I mean, it looks crazy, but they nerfed everything. You guys, I know you think that mages are just going to be crazy, and maybe they will, but if you actually look on the PTR, mages numbers are just lower, like pretty much across the board. They pre-nerfed everything. All right, let's see what else we got here. Who else is the biggest winner? Are any other healers changing? Are any other specs getting better? I think these are the big outliers. I think Affliction's getting significantly better. I think Holy Paladin's getting significantly better. I think Unholy Death Knight is getting significantly better. Venruki will never say mages are amazing. It's actually so unbelievable to me that people still say that I am a biased mage. I don't compete. I said earlier today, I'm actually happy that mages are not... Like, I'm actually happy that other casters are excelling in the tournament meta, and it's not mages. I actually am not biased. I'd like to know why you think that I am. And I also would like to know why you think that, like, Fire Mage is getting so amazing. So, for me, you know, speaking to a lot of the tournament mages and speaking to people that are just big mage enthusiasts in general, Fire Mage is pretty much the same, except more damage has been shifted into your combustion. So your combustion is going to be stronger on Fire Mage, but your overall damage is going to be weaker. So it's like you're more of like a Shadowlands Mage, which was overall pretty weak. I would say that Shadowlands Mage, Fire Mage in particular, was one of the worst specs in the game. Although we did see it excel in tournaments with a Rogue, overall, as a PvP spec, it was terrible. Frost Mage is the same, except Ray of Frost is better. And I hope I'm wrong about this. I really genuinely hope I'm wrong about this, but I don't really see Arcane Fire and Frost, unless the numbers are really crazy, which I'm not convinced of yet. I don't think they're really going to change their position. Full Mastery build? I mean, PvP, like, I will say this. As a caster, stacking Full Mastery is never really viable. I'm trying to think of examples of, like, if you are a caster and you have to stack Full Mastery to do damage, that's like Mitch Jones level memeing Arcane, you know, like that kind of stuff. And that's no disrespect to Mitch Jones, but like, I just don't see it being really super viable. Devastation does it? Well, that's because all of their damage is instant. They don't really cast, right? Like Devastation does do it, but as a Devastation Evoker, you're just one-shotting people with a single spell, right? Mage didn't gain a single utility. Like, it's going to be the same playstyle. So Mage is basically just going to be like, if it does damage, it'll be good. But I just think there's better options to actually win games. They got Mass Barrier. That's a meme, dude. Mass Barrier. So yeah, let's get the Green Arrow up. Green Arrow, these are the ones that I think are going to be a lot better. So these 3 specializations I think are getting better. They're getting solid. Are any specs getting nerfed? Are any specs getting worse? Frosty gets getting worse? I have tried Frostmage with a decent amount of mastery. Doesn't seem that strong. I'm like I said, I will be the first to admit it. Like if Frostmage ends up being really good and you could sack a ton of mastery, and I'll be the first to admit it. But from what the numbers I've tested, the damage doesn't really feel that good. There are some mana changes to hybrids as well, so we could potentially see things like Shadow Priest be a little bit worse, Moonkins be a little bit worse, but I'm not sure about that. I think they nerfed the mana regen a little bit, and then of course one more thing that's happening is Augmentation Evoker. Augmentation Evoker is going to be added. I don't know where I would really place it on like a tier list. That's one thing we're going to check out though, so stay tuned for that. We are going to check out the Augmentation Evoker. I want to release some content on it and make sure that people know exactly how it works and what it does. And yeah, because I think it has some really interesting utility. So yeah, once again, I just want to reiterate, this is like what I consider the tournament meta. After shoutcasting the game, this is where I have everything placed for the time being. And I think going into the next patch, the 3 biggest winners are going to be Unholy DK, Holy Paladin, and Affliction Warlock. And the fact that like Unholy DKs are getting better and Affliction Warlocks are getting better might change more, but I don't really see many of these other specializations changing that much from what I've seen, from what I've heard. So it'll be interesting to see.